Welcome back. We've got a, well, really fascinating set of sources today for our deep dive. We're looking into the life and work of Manuel del Valle y Colón.
Yes, and what jumps out immediately, I think, is this incredible duality. You have this high-powered legal career, top of the game, really,
Right.
and running right alongside it, this incredibly deep, philosophical, poetic life.
It's like two different worlds colliding. So our
Yeah.
mission here is to unpack that,
Yeah.
How does a top lawyer, a government figure, also produce this volume of poetry, especially guided by this idea of going forward?
Exactly. It's like you're examining a life, trying to balance justice, this real-world impact, with beauty and soul-searching. The poetry volume itself, Omnibus Poetry Text You Go Forward, it's dedicated to people overcoming obstacles.
And that title, Go Forward,
Yeah.
the sources make a point of showing it in multiple languages.
Yeah.
Chinese,
Korean.
Japanese. Gonggo no tenkai.
Thai. Kapi Kung Hao no. That really sets the stage, doesn't it? It's not just a personal thing, it's universal. Precisely. It immediately tells you this isn't just about one person's journey. It's about a fundamental human drive, progress, understanding across cultures, mirroring his own life's work, really.
Okay, so let's dig into the roots then. Where did this all start? He was born in East Harlem, the Carver Houses, 1948.
And then later moved to West Harlem, the Douglas Projects. His parents came from Puerto Rico, Hatillo, and Mocha. So that experience of, migration, different worlds, it's right there from the beginning.
And his high school years, Brooklyn Tech, 1962 to 66, the sources list some really specific activities.
Yeah, they're quite telling, aren't they? Free World Club, the polling squad for city elections.
Debating society, even managing the fencing team.
Right. It all points to someone learning how to think strategically, organize, argue precisely, skills you definitely need in law.
But maybe the most crucial part, especially for his later work, was ASPRA.
Oh, definitely. He was deeply involved, became Issues and Actions Chairman for the whole Federation of Aspera Clubs.
And trained by people like Antonio Pantoja, Aspire's founder, and Isora Santiago. That's serious grassroots activism training.
It really fueled his path through education. You see it in his choices. Yale Transitional Year Program, then Wesleyan. But using his Yale grades to spend a semester recruiting minority students. It wasn't just about academics for him.
Right. It was always connected to action. And then at Princeton History, Latin American Studies, Afro-American Studies, he gets right to work.
Founds the Latino organization there and manages to get one of the first Ivy League seminars on Puerto Rican history and politics established.
He wasn't waiting for permission, was he? He was making space.
Not at all. He was actively shaping the institution.
So that naturally leads into his legal career. And this connection, it's almost unbelievable.
It really is something. His Princeton senior thesis, right, a chapter from it gets incorporated into a memo for Senator Jacob Javits.
Okay.
And that memo is then used by the Puerto Rican Legal Defense and Education Fund, PRLDEF, to help frame the complaint for Aspire v. Board of Education.
Wow. Just pause on that. Student research directly influencing a landmark civil rights case. That's rare.
Extremely rare. And then he goes to work for PRLDEF as a trial attorney from 74 to 75 and actually works on the Asper case.
The one his own research helped build.
Exactly. And it leads to that consent decree, a huge win for bilingual education for kids with limited English skills in New York City.
That must have been incredibly validating. Did he work on other key cases there?
Yes, Pabon v. Levine as well. That case ensured Spanish speakers got bilingual notices for unemployment claims. Again, it's about access, about basic fairness.
Removing barriers. You see the theme go forward even back then.
Absolutely. Making sure systems actually serve the people they're supposed to.
So after these major early wins, his career just keeps climbing. Trial attorney for the U.S. Department of Labor.
For quite a while, 75 to 87. Then a Rockefeller Fellowship took him to the London School of Economics.
Studying Puerto Rican jurisprudence. Still focused on that core interest.
Always circling back. And then a really significant role. The first Puerto Rican chief administrative law judge for the New York State Division of Human Rights, 91 to 95.
And what was his focus there?
The sources say he prioritized cases involving racial and sexual harassment, as also AIDS discrimination, still championing the marginalized, but now from the judge's bench.
The arc of his influence just kept expanding, and the people he crossed paths with.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable, too. Yale law classmates like Clarence Thomas and Lonnie Guarnier.
And that amazing anecdote about Justice Sonia Sotomayor, he met her when he was teaching at Princeton.
Right, and she wrote in his book, Manuel, you were my first role model, someone with a passion for fighting for change.
Wow. That says so much.
It really does. And then his career kind of comes full circle, doesn't it? His final major role was back in Puerto Rico.
Chief Administrative Law Judge for the Social Security Administration in San Juan from 2004 to 2020.
A journey of passage and then return, bringing all that experience back to his ancestral homeland.
Okay, so we have this towering legal figure, this activist, this history maker. But how? How does the poetry fit? We've got the legal briefs, the consent decrees, very structured, very precise language. And then we have go forward, the poetry. Was it just an escape, a hobby?
I don't think the sources frame it as just an escape. It feels more like integration. Like the two sides needed each other. Law deals with facts, with what is. Poetry explores meaning, potential, what could be, maybe why we push forward.
So the themes in the poetry should reflect that internal work.
I think so. The sources highlight clusters of themes, like renewal, passage, and time, lots of imagery of transitional moments, liminal spaces.
Like light on a beach between land and sea.
Exactly. That specific image is mentioned as something that stops anxiety, that feeling of being disconnected.
And then there's identity, appearance, self-perception. That seems key too.
Very much so. The idea that a mirror only shows you an approximation, but the poetry tries to capture the whole winding path of your existence. The law needs clear identities, right? Poetry allows for more fluidity for becoming.
Let's dive into some specific images, though, because some are really striking. The one of the executive.
Ah, yes. The player in the underground, now powerful, dressed in dark clothes.
But with an all-white royal ball python coiled around his arm. I mean, that's a choice.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? A snake, especially a python, is such a strong symbol across cultures.
Of what? Danger?
Well, yes, but also transformation. Shedding skin, rebirth.
Ah. Okay, so the executive who's made it is holding this symbol of constant change.
Precisely. He's contemplating his own ability to shed his skin, maybe shed past limitations, expectations, even maybe seeking his father's approval, as the source suggests. The snake isn't just decoration. It's like a living reminder of the need to evolve, to go forward.
That makes sense. It connects the professional success with this deeper, almost spiritual need for ongoing transformation.
And speaking of spiritual, there's that theme of conflict, shadow, and redemption. It gets pretty intense.
Yeah, the mention of praying to the guardian of the underground, chanting a mantra of forgiveness to disarm a Naga goddess of revenge. That's deep mythology.
It really is. These serpent deities from Hindu and Buddhist traditions, bringing them in, shows this integration of, non-Western spiritual ideas. It's not just about legal battles anymore.
It's an internal spiritual battle. And forgiveness is the weapon.
Seems to be. Using the mantra disarms revenge. It's a way to find a kind of justice or maybe peace that the courts can't offer, forgiveness breaking the cycle.
That's profound. There's also a critique of society in there, isn't there? The captive audience image.
Right. Contrasting sports fans stuck in their seats, focused on just one winner or loser.
Yelling, booing.
Yeah. Contrasting that with life, where we should be free agents, embracing diversity, divergence, not just this binary outcome.
That sounds like the poet critiquing the limitations of the judge, maybe. Law often demands that win-lose result.
That's a really interesting way to put it. Yeah, life is more complex than that. And then there's that incredibly poignant story, the tangerine ritual.
Oh, that one hits hard. Two friends on a dock peeling a tangerine. One leaves for the city.
Without revealing he has terminal cancer.
And the friend left behind throws tangerine slices into the sea every year after that, hoping for his return.
Yeah.
But it never happens.
It's just such a powerful image of unresolved grief, isn't it? Memory, ritual, loss, the cost of moving forward sometimes, perhaps without closure.
Yeah, wow.
So when you pull it all together, the sources talk about integration and moving forward. It's about reconciling everything body, mind, spirit, especially after difficulty or feeling like an outsider.
And you could literally trace that in his biography, can you?
Right.
Growing up using public stalls without barriers, feeling judged, avoiding eye contact.
And connecting that to the adult perspective where rejection becomes a badge of honor, he found that fearless voice.
So the legal advocate found his strength partly because the poet did the inner work, reconciling those childhood strategies with adult power.
It seems that way. They weren't separate lives. They informed each other, which leads to this broader call to action in the poetry.
What's it called?
Two key things, really. First, this urgent need to poison the reservoir of hate, to actively tear down walls, build bridges, commit to love and care despite differences.
That sounds like the activist speaking through the poetry.
Definitely. And second, this idea of a naked heart. finding peace away from materialism, from urban striving,
Right.
by embracing simplicity, presence, letting ancient chants like those of monks kind of wash over you and awaken gratitude, harmony with the universe. It's a very spiritual path to peace.
So the rigorous work for justice in the courts and the deep exploration of the soul in poetry, they're part of the same mission.
That's what it feels like. Both are about building a better, more whole world inside and out.
It's an incredible legacy.
Yeah.
Manuel del Valle Colón really shows the power of language, both legal and poetic, to fight for justice, but also for healing and understanding across cultures. His life suggests that navigating complexity, even trauma, can lead to really profound growth.
Absolutely. And if his journey involved that powerful executive needing to embrace the symbolism of the snake, the transformation, challenging his own success to allow for rebirth, well, that leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it?
It does. His constant theme is to go forward. So the question for you, listening, might be, what's the one thing, maybe a hidden passion, an ignored truth, that vulnerable part of yourself that you in your professional life need to metaphorically place on your arm today? What needs integrating for you to truly shed your skin and move forward?
Something to mull over.
Definitely something to consider. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.